Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your first video blog of the day for Sunday, September 6, 2015, around 7:45 in the morning, Berwick, Massachusetts. Nice and sunny day out, low humidities, highs in the mid-80s, but tolerable and stuff. This is the second day of the 3-day Labor Day weekend, the last official summer weekend because everybody goes back to school, the kids, on Tuesday. Some news to report. The Vermont Lake Monsters beat the Lowell Spinners by a score of 12-6. And that's about it on the news. My first video blog subject of the day is a continuation series of the top 10 greatest everything and anything. I've now reached top 10 greatest moments in WWE Superstars of Wrestling history. The Superstars of Wrestling was a syndicated program, which was the #1 program of WWE TV back in the late 80s and early 90s. It premiered 29 years ago today in syndication, and for years Superstars of Wrestling was a great program. Usually it was squash matches, but all of the major WWE angles happened on Superstars of Wrestling. They would occasionally have feature matches and stuff like that. But when Monday Night Raw premiered in 1993, Superstars became a B show. Eventually it became a highlight show when it moved to the USA Network in 1996. But it's back in like international markets, but that's a different Superstars of Wrestling. But it's called Superstars now. And here are the top 10 greatest moments in WWE Superstars of Wrestling history. Number 10 on this list is Tugboat's heel turn on the Bushwhackers in like June of 1991 to join Earthquake and form the Natural Disasters. Like Tugboat became Typhoon. Tugboat was a face. He aligned himself with Hulk Hogan in 1990 and 1991, but Tugboat's face turn was getting stale. It was stalling and stuff, and this was a perfect heel turn. Tugboat and the Bushwhackers faced off against the Nasty Boys and Earthquake in a 6-man tag, and Tugboat wasn't paying attention, was not helping the Bushwhackers, and to the end when one of the Bushwhackers was trying to attack Jimmy Hart, and then Tugboat knocks him out, and then they get another Bushwhacker to give him the splash, and Randy Macho Man Savage sold just like Tugboat's wrestling so hard he's forgetting which team he's on. And the Natural Disasters became WWE Tag Team Champions in 1992. Number 9 on this list of the greatest moments in WWE Superstars of Wrestling history, Mr. Perfect winning the Intercontinental title in May of 1990 against Tito Santana and naming his new manager, Bobby the Brain Heenan, the Perfect Manager. The WWE Intercontinental title was vacant after WrestleMania 6 when the Ultimate Warrior was reigning Intercontinental Champion, won the WWE World titles, and he couldn't hold 2 titles at one time, so they had to have a tournament. In the finals, it was Perfect against Santana. This was a great match. Miss Bobby the Brain Heenan came down halfway through the match, distracted Santana, and Perfect won this match cleanly. Afterwards, he decided that Bobby the Brain Heenan was going to be his new manager, the Perfect Manager, and stuff like that. Perfect had the Genius as manager early in the year, but he dumped him. Go with Bobby the Brain Heenan. Number 8 on this list of the greatest moments in WWE Superstars of Wrestling history, Macho Man Randy Savage injuring Ricky the Dragon Steamboat with the Timekeeper's belt in December 1986 during an Intercontinental title match between both of them. This was a perfect angle to set up WrestleMania 3. The selling of Ricky Steamboat's throat was amazing. He was doing this and stuff. Steamboat, he had to be carried out on a stretcher and stuff. The announcer says he swallowed his tongue and stuff. And in reality, Steamboat was going to have him and his wife were going to have a baby. And afterwards, Bruno Sammartino interviewed Macho Man Randy Savage, saying he was gloating about injuring Steamboat. And then Bruno and Savage fight was pretty good. Number 7 on this list of the greatest moments in WWE Superstars of Wrestling history, Jake the Snake Roberts, King Cobra, biting Macho Man Randy Savage's arm. This was very graphic and violent. Macho Man was actually an announcer during this time period. It happened in November 1991 because he was forced to retire, losing a career-ending match to the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 7. And, like, Jake the Snake was talking smack about Macho Man and his wife Elizabeth, and the Macho Man comes down out of the broadcasting booth, and then Jake the Snake attacks him and gets the big King Cobra, and the Cobra was biting on Macho Man Randy Savage's arm, but the Cobra was devenomized and stuff like that. It was a scary scene, and then Vince McMahon was selling it like Jake the Snake Roberts snappy sticks. Vince was crying almost that Savage was seriously hurt. Number 6 on this list of the greatest moments in WWE Superstars of Wrestling history, Bob Backlund turning heel and putting the crossface chicken on Bret the Hitman Hart, happening in July of 1994. This was a 25-minute scientific match. It was Bret the Hitman Hart facing Backlund, putting the WWE title on the line. Great scientific match. Backlund thought he won with a small package, but Hart gives him a small package. Backlund for the 1, 2, 3 wins the match, retains the title. They shake hands once, and Bret wants to shake hands again, but Bob Backlund slaps the Hitman and puts him in the sharpshooter. The crossface chickering, and he snaps, and this heel turn goes crazy and stuff, and Bob Backlund becomes one of the best heels in WWE during this time period. Number 5 on this list of the greatest moments in WWE Superstars of Wrestling history, The Undertaker attacking the Ultimate Warrior and putting him in a casket during an episode of The Funeral Parlor in Paul Bella in April 1991. This was a very horrific, scene and stuff, but very memorable. The suits had jaw open the casket and stuff, and when they found it, the Ultimate Warrior was out cold. He was selling it. It was an airtight casket, but really they had the casket probably had air in it and stuff like that. It was just a storyline for the Warrior and Undertaker feuds on house shows. Number 4 on this list of the greatest moments in WWE Superstars of Wrestling history, Macho Man Randy Savage proposing to Miss Elizabeth in the summer of 1991 when they did an interview segment with me and Gene Okerlund with Elizabeth. She's saying she loved Randy Savage so much, and Randy Savage comes out of the broadcast booth and then has proposes to Miss Elizabeth, and Miss Elizabeth says, "Ooh yeah." This was part of the SummerSlam 1991 match made from heaven. It was a very, very memorable moment. Number 3 on this list of the greatest moments in WWE Superstars of Wrestling history, the Honky Tonk Man beating Ricky the Dragon Steamboat for the WWE Intercontinental title in June of 1987. This started Honky Tonk Man's reign as the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. And the Honky Tonk Man was the best Intercontinental Champion of all time. Happened on Superstars of Wrestling. Originally it was going to be the Natural Butch Reed winning the Intercontinental title, but he no-showed the TV taping. Number 2 on this list of the greatest moments of WWE Superstars of Wrestling history, Ric Flair's debut on WWE TV for Superstars in September of 1991, gloating with Piper and stuff like that, talking smack about him. And Vince and Randy Savage, and then Ric Flair hitting Piper with the NWA WCW World Belt, which he owned at the time, and then attacking Piper and stuff, and then Vince McMahon coming out on the booth and trying to restore order, and Piper accidentally hitting Vince with a chair, thinking it was Flair because it was out cold and stuff and groggy and stuff. Vince had to do a stretcher job. This was the second time Vince took a bump on television. The first one was in 1977 doing Manager of the Year segment when Arnold Skolin won the WWF Manager of the Year in 1977, and Captain Lou Albano attacked Arnold and Vince. So that was Vince's first bump. This angle was pretty good and stuff. Very memorable moment. Vince never took bumps or never got pushed during this era. And number one on this list of the greatest moments in WWE Superstars of Wrestling history is when Andre the Giant appeared on Piper's Pit with Bobby the Brain Heenan in February 1987, turning on Hulk Hogan, challenging to a match at WrestleMania 3, and ripping Hulk Hogan's Hulkamania tank top and the cross off his chest and stuff, which was very memorable, probably the most memorable moment in WWE Superstars of Wrestling history. Piper said to Hogan, "You're bleeding, man, you're bleeding, man." Very, very memorable and stuff like that. That's about it on that. We'll be back later on. I'll be back later on with 2 more video blogs about North Station and BTA Commuter Rail in Boston, and Tom Seaver, former Major League Baseball pitcher and Baseball Hall of Famer and stuff like that. Tomorrow, only 2 video blogs because it's Labor Day and stuff, because usually holidays, major holidays, I'll stick to these. I'll do 2 video blogs, but sometime during the week there could be an extra one just to make it up. And keep calm, and I'm a Julie Brown guy. Molly Rosenblatt of Fox 35 Rocks and has nice legs. And in the words of Vader, former WCW World Champion, it's time, it's Vader time. Bye.